Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
What's up? It's your guy Dan, and I just got done watching NXT BATTLEGROUnd. Yeah. I normally don't watch NXT unless it's a certain match I want to see. And that match, I had two tonight. I want to see Roxanne Perez and Jordan Grace. Then I want to see the Ethan Page, Trick Williams. Yeah. Okay. I guess we're just going to have to get into that. So the card, the first match was a 6-woman ladder match for the new North American Women's Championship. It was Sol Ruka versus Lash Legend versus Fallon Henley versus Jada Parker versus Mia Chin versus Keelan Jordan, and I picked Miss Parker to win this one. Miss Parker? I was wrong. The match was not that bad. Wasn't that great, but it wasn't that bad. I was entertained by it, and it was kind of cool seeing the women getting the applause that they got. It was a small venue. It was a UFC venue in Las Vegas. The building probably could have held, the venue could have held at least 800 people. I think they had less than 500, maybe 500, but it didn't sound like that. And it didn't look like that on TV either. So I don't know what how they would say turnstile count would have been, but it couldn't have been a lot. It couldn't have been. See, Helena Joiner won. It was nice. It wasn't a bad match. I gave it out of a 10. I probably gave it a 6. It was entertaining. It was. Then we had the Good Brothers OC versus Axum, and Nathan Frazier. I don't know these guys. I know the OC, but I don't know the other two. One I call a white luchador, and the other one I called him Matt Riddle Jr. I was on the phone with one of my buddies, and he was like, "Bro, for real, you haven't?" I said, "I have no idea." It was a decent match. I give it a 7 out of 10. It was entertaining, but it wasn't that long. But it kept me. I was intent on the match. It kept me involved. It kept me ready to go. So it wasn't that bad. The third match, actually, I enjoyed this match, and a lot of people hated this match. Obafemi versus Wesley versus Joe Coffey. All right, I know who Obafemi is because they've been throwing him down our throats and showing all these like clips. And then Wesley. Everyone knows who Wesley is. I was actually very surprised on how well entertaining these three were. Joe Coffey, he's not my cup of tea. I'll say that. He's not my cup of tea. Obafemi, not my cup of tea. Wesley, I'm normally not into the flippy dippy bullshit, but he's got some great fucking moves in his arsenal. And some of them, I was actually very entertained with him and Obo, especially when he was doing his flippy shit, and Obo just catches him out of the air and was like, "No, motherfucker, you did." I was entertained by this match. I'm gonna give it a 7. It was highly entertaining. Of course, Obafemi won, but it was just highly entertained. I was actually very, very pleasantly surprised by that match. This one got me a little weird. The Shayna Baszler Lola Vice. Okay, so we're in an MMA venue. We're in a UFC venue. And we have UFC fighters in attendance. We're in Las Vegas. This is UFC territory. This is the first time that we're using one of their venues. And you have 2 ex-MMA fighters. Both of them have fought in mixed martial arts and in the UFC. So I'm like, it's going to be a wrestling match. I get it. And he's like, no. My buddy was like, no, it's not going to be a wrestling match. It's going to be an MMA fight. I was like, bullshit. There's no way in hell WWE would make that same mistake again. The last time they done that, when they had a tournament with professional boxers versus wrestlers, Butterbean about killed somebody. So, I'm sorry, I've been under the weather, and I'm not going to edit it out. I've been up all day. No, I'm not editing that out. Screw it. But, they took the fucking ropes off, and I was like, okay, are we going a little blood sport here? And that's exactly what he said. He's like, dude, it's an underground match. I'm like, oh my god. And Shayna Baszler came down in her jiu-jitsu gi, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. She took that bitch off. Yeah, she took it off. And I'm like, it's going to be a goddamn wrestling match. And it was. The hits were fake. You could tell. Yeah, they tried to do a little MMA mixed in with WWE, but it was just wrestling. And Baszler lost. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't entertaining to me. And actually, I guess if my expectations were too high, then I'll never be satisfied. So I give that one, it was a 4 in my opinion. I'm sorry. It wasn't my cup of tea at all. Next was the match that I was looking forward to. You had Roxanne Perez versus Jordynne Grace. I like some TNA talent, but Jordynne Grace, over the years, I like Jordynne Grace. But now, ever since she's been on this kick, I follow on Instagram, so I saw her body transformation from what she used to be to now. Honestly, I prefer her the other way, but that's my personal opinion. I'm sorry. But she is a fucking monster now. You look at her, and you look at Roxanne Perez, and you're like, I hope to God they don't do the WWE wins this one. Because let's just be honest with everybody. We want TNA and WWE to intertwine and have crossovers. It's good for business. It's good for the wrestlers. It's good for everything. It's good for business. I mean, that's where AEW, New Japan have went. They've gotten a leg up on that one part versus WWE, but WWE has never done that before. They've done the whole bringing in someone just for a match. They did it one year with Mickie James in the Rumble. And then the next year we got Jordynne Grace, which was phenomenal. And then we got Jordynne Grace on NXT TV twice in a row. One just a promo-ish. Number 2 was an actual match. So this is her third time in the ring doing action. So if I was the booker, I would have booked this match totally different. I would have gave Jordynne Grace the win. Now hear me out. I would have gave her the win, and then at the next TNA pay-per-view, I would have had Roxanne Perez challenge for the TNA Knockouts belt, and then she win that one. So then you've got 1-1, right? And now we got 2 companies with 2 stars with the other person's belt. The third match, I would have made it a 2 falls. The first fall is for this belt, and the second fall for this belt, and that's where I would have split it up again. And then it was still been tied, and then they can continue this feud onward. And in my opinion, they dropped the ball on a few things, but the match wasn't bad. It was very slow for good reason. Because let's be honest, Jordynne Grace would fucking kill Roxanne Perez in real life. She would fucking eat her up for breakfast. So, but some part of the match, it's all blood. And I'm on the phone with my buddy. I'm like, dude, where's the blood at? He's like, I don't know. I was like, did they put a blood mac in somebody's mouth and they bit it and they just spit up a little blood to be more interesting? Because none of them are bleeding. You can see blood on the mat. You can see blood on Roxanne Perez's ribs, like wiped. And then you can see some on Jordynne Grace's, like here. And it looked like she got scraped right here on her shoulder blade area and her rotator cuff area right there. And it was not. So I'm like staring, looking for all this blood, and I can't find it. Finally, they do a close-up of Roxanne Perez on the ground, and it looked like she was wearing an earring, and around her ear, it looked like she may have ripped it a little bit, and it may have bled a little bit. That's normal. That happens. It happens in football. When I played football, it was a normal occurrence. Wrestling, normal occurrence. That's why you're not supposed to wear earrings. But then the fuckery happened. It was a very slow match, and it was not boring, but it was slow paced, which it needed to be. The fuckery happened. I don't know who it was. Jumped over the bell area and grabbed Jordynne Grace's title and headed up to the ramp, laughing, keeping Jordan's attention away from the match. And then I don't know who it was. I say it was Dana Brooke. My buddy knew who it was, and I was just like, I don't fucking know. I have a personal issue with any female that does surgery right here. So it makes them look like a fucking plastic doll. And honestly, you all look the same, and I wish you would stop doing that and keep your natural beauty. I'm just fucking saying it's personal preference. But it looked like Dana Brooke. Jordynne Grace rolls out of the ring, hits Emo Girl with the belt, hits, I think, Dana Brooke with the belt, runs back into the ring, which is weird because she threw the belt down next to him. I'm like, wait a minute, they try to steal your belt and you're just going to throw it there and then go back? Oh, come on, bro. And then she went back in the ring. Grace went for her Juggernaut Slam or whatever it's called. And Roxanne Perez countered into a cutter like almost like an RKO. And I was like, oh shit, that was kind of cool looking. Yeah, it was accidentally on purpose is what I call it. And then she hit her other move, and then 1, 2, 3, Jordynne Grace lost the match. I was disappointed because my expectation was up here. That's my fault for being expectations. You never expect anything. That way you're not let down. I was let down in this thing. So I give that match, I'm going to be nice and give it a 6. Just out of respect. Oh. And then I think we had one last match, and it was Trick Williams versus Ethan Page. And let's just go ahead and be honest. Ethan Page was a TNA and AEW jobber. Okay? But everyone's like, oh, another TNA crossover. He signed a contract with NXT. So he is now WWE. So it's not a crossover. This match was okay. Trick Williams needed someone new to feud with. And we gave it to him. And the ending of the match I thought was so fucking stupid. Ethan Page was beating on him. The ref kept pressing him away. He'd go back, beating on him, press him away. And then Trick hit the trick shot. The knee. And 1, 2, 3. Show's over. It was entertaining, but it was also just, at this point, I was so drawn out. I was like, ugh. I'm giving it a 5. I'm sorry. You can hate it. So that's where I come in with, never bring your expectations to wrestling and setting the pedestal, like the bar, like right up here, because you're going to get fucking let down every fucking time. This is why I do not watch NXT. I used to watch it black and gold. Now I can't stand it. I hate the looks of the titles. I think they're all ugly, especially with that rainbow shit around it. Each side is a different color. It just takes away from the look of the title. So anyway, guys, that was my review. As a show total out of a 10, it's gonna get a 7. I'm gonna give it a 7 just to be generous. And also, my one last tidbit of information. We need to start being honest with ourselves. Not everything is awesome, and we need to chant that. I know it's something that the live crowds do. This is awesome. No, the fuck it's not. That's all I gotta say. This is awesome. No, the fuck it's not. Deuces. What up?